Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Bolt Crew podcast. Dave Pele, Josh Pele, and Mario Heron. He is back from a lot of things, from vacation, from moving. You know, you look different in Chicago now than you did in DC. Little redder, I'll tell you that.
Okay, dude, it's not the red. We got a little tan. The Italian blood comes out when you go to Florida.
I don't
So
know.
we're not burnt.
If I was coloring you with the crayon, it would definitely be a strong pink. That's for sure.
Well, we feel good, and that's all that
Okay.
matters.
Good deal, man. I'm glad to have you back. That's for sure. We didn't know when you're coming back. People kept asking. We didn't know. We said, we assume you're going to be back today. This is it, right? How much time did you miss? A week and a half, 2 weeks? What do we get?
Probably a week and a half. Yeah, probably give or take. So I was driving. Yeah, so it was literally a week and a half. There was a slight panic attack. Couldn't figure out the Wi-Fi. So I was on the phone with the customer service. Had to apologize to him after. Might have lost my, you know what, a little bit for there a second.
Yeah.
But then I quickly calmed down and said, hey, hope you guys are having a great day.
There you go. Okay. Good deal. All right. And then just as we're talking show business here about what goes on in our lives, you're back. Are you doing the show next Tuesday from San Diego, Josh?
Next Thursday. I'll be there.
All right. There you go. Like everybody's running around this country. All right. Good deal. Hope everybody's doing well. Look, we're close to training camp opening, getting going. Basically, July 17th, I believe, is the date, if my memory is correct, is when they get going for real. As my wife's secretary, who's a huge fan of this show, actually said to her, I am taking the 17th and 18th off. I will not be in the office. I will be at Charger training camp. And I go, not even Josh and I will be at Charger training camp probably. But that being said, I've done it a million times. Just curious, anyone out there who's ever been to Charger training camp, tell us in the comments, was it worth it? Now, I don't know what you're going for. I think when you're a kid, you just want to see your stars, the people you look up to. But I always had to be out there for work all the time. Like I was at Charger training camps for years and years and years. And I never understood why the crowds were so big unless you wanted an autograph. Because it wasn't like the 49ers are going to pull up any second in a bus and we're going to see exactly how good our team is against their team. You don't get anything out of it. It was always boring as hell to me. And the weather in San Diego was good. So that wasn't an issue. But I'm like, why do I want to deal with this? I'd rather just sit there and get all the notes I can from somebody else as far as if I missed anything. But they really don't give you anything. They don't show you anything. And now, look, your team's there. But would you go? Like, have you ever been to training camp for another team, Mario?
So I'm trying to think of all the ones I've been to. So Indianapolis, which sucked, by the way. It was god awful. I think I had one of my nephews, and he was like 3 years old, and they gave him a football, and instead of like throwing it in the things, he just like threw it at my head. And I was like, nice one, dude. There goes your Christmas present. And then I went to a Bears one. I went to a Bengals one. And it was like with the Bengals, I think I had Carson Palmer. One of those things where I feel like it's really cool when you go, but then when you're there, you just kind of realize like, oh, I'm just watching these guys practice, and they're all like, this sucks. This is a living hell. Like none of them are having a good time. Like it's the two-a-days. It's the 21st century two-a-days, not the two-a-days of old time. But Josh, I always thought of, it sounds better than you actually think it is.
Well, I played football, and I remember when they had the media and people that could watch practices come in, and they would do just drills, and it wouldn't be actually like the plays we'd run in the game. So I always thought, why would I ever go to training camp? I already know they're not going to show you anything. Every year we hear about QJ looking like, Randy Moss. So whenever somebody says that to me, I think, why would I waste my time and go watch that when it's not even the truth, right? Because we always hear every year that certain guys look amazing and then they're not very good in the real games. And like Dave said, they're not going to show you anything in these training camps that are going to be substantial. Plays are going to run in week 1 against the Chiefs.
It would be crazy if Harbaugh one time just does a full training camp of exactly everything they do in like week 1, 2, and 3. And then no one would believe it anyway. Harbaugh's not that dumb. The guy's a genius. There's no way he's going to show you what he's really going to do. And then sure enough, he actually showed it. You wouldn't know. It's a complete change up. Anyway, Chargers getting going again in a few weeks for real. Actually, less than a few weeks. We're talking like next week. We're getting going. It's and this is where it gets exciting, right? From this point on, honestly, till the Super Bowl, we're all in as football fans, right? We're all in on fantasy football, start looking at what's going on there and what's going to happen. You hear a lot of rumors all of a sudden, politics wise, that fantasy football could be turned upside down. That'd be a major blow for a lot of sports fans to go, all of a sudden fantasy football's out. But at the same time, we do get excited about our team, about, your friendships that people have. Let's be honest, football friendships. There are friends that you're friends with during football season, and when football season is not going around, those guys can go to hell, right? You have no interest in spending time with those guys in the spring. But come fall, they're the kind of guys that you hate enough that you want to talk trash to for an entire fall, and that's where they're at. So I'm excited about this Charger team. We're in a situation, like we said, for the longest time. This Charger team has something to look forward to. A lot of teams are going to training camp starting next week, a week after, and it's going to be a long few months. It's just not their year. All right, they're moving forward towards the next draft, and we've been there too as Charger fans, but it's not one of those years. So overall, excited, Mara, to have you back. Excited that you came back at a time where things are getting a little bit more exciting. So a couple things going on right now, just football news. Just want to touch on and stuff is, the Chargers here, when they talk about what we have and the talent that this team has, they talk about the running back situation, which I think we're all excited about. We have 2 new running backs from what we had a year ago, and yet I think we all think we took a step up from what they had a year ago. Do you agree?
We have a better running back group this year than last year, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Why? Does anybody think it's not that case? Does anybody miss J.K. Dobbins that much? How about this? Would you rather have J.K. Dobbins or Najee Harris? That's the real question. And I think Omari and Hampton's better than both, Mario.
I think Omari and Hampton, we're going to talk about rankings later, but and the top 10 that came out from ESPN, I think Hampton by this time next year will be a top 10 running back. We'll be in that conversation. I think he's that good, that special of a player. And in this offense, guys, I think he's really going to take off.
Yeah, honestly, I believe the same thing. I don't think he's getting, I guess, the credit or the hype that maybe he deserves, which maybe it makes him work harder. I mean, I'm sure every football player, especially coming out of college, you have to prove yourself. You're crazy to think I'm going to the NFL and I don't have to prove myself. But at the same time, you look at Genty with the Raiders, he's getting all the hype in the world. And those guys are supposed to be comparable running backs. 1 and 2, right?
Yeah, everybody thinks they're 1 and 2.
But everyone's overlooking Hampton all of a sudden now that the draft is over.
It doesn't make any sense. If you look at the AFC West, you got 3 teams that are starting rookie running backs. And you could say J.K. Dobbins is starting over R.J. Harvey with the Denver Broncos. I think that's the same exact situation the Chargers are in, where maybe you have the veteran starting on paper, but everybody knows that the real starting running back is going to be the rookie that's behind him. And then obviously at the Raiders, you have Genty. If I was Amari and Hampton, and maybe I'm just crazy, it would bother me that people think of me as an afterthought, especially when I was so dominant at North Carolina. I understand that Genty had the best season out of all of them, but I think Omari and Hampton has a lot to prove this year, and he will. And I've said it before in a few shows. I think he's going to get Offensive Rookie of the Year.
I think this is the tough situation for Hampton because, like you said, he's getting overlooked because of how special of a player Genty is and like the hype that is built around him. Should he have won Heisman? Was he the best all-around college football player last year? You probably can make an argument that maybe he was, and he was just so exceptional at Boise State. And because he's at such a high standard, and it is, I can't remember his PFF's rankings already had him so high, and he hasn't even played a snap yet in the NFL, that Hampton has kind of fallen into the background, right? And to go along with that, we talked about this. The Charger brand isn't that big nationally, where the Raider brand, yes, like they've sucked and been an embarrassment for, the past decade plus since the, Tom Brady playoff thing when they got screwed. Since then, like they've been terrible, but, everyone recognizes a Raider hat, Dave. Everyone knows who the Raiders are. They've had one of the most famous coaches of all time. Madden coached their teams. They've been a dominant, memorable franchise in the NFL if you look at the full history. So that, I think, all plays in a factor of why Genty's kind of gotten all this hype and excitement, and then Hampton's kind of fallen in the background. And I'm with you, Josh. If I'm Hampton, I'm putting a photo of just like all those rankings on a wall, and I'm staring at it. And I'm like, doing I don't know what Adam Sandler movie it was, but I'm throwing like a dart at it. Not going to take him out or anything, but, but to just get the guts going.
Well, St. Brown always has that list where he's sitting and he goes through every player that was drafted ahead of him, every receiver. You know, right? You see these guys that have done that before. Obviously, if you're Hampton, there's one guy picked ahead of you. I think every pro athlete, the ones at least want to win and want to go down and create a legacy, they have that chip on their shoulder. And if it's not there, they create one, right? We saw the great ones have always done it. Tom Brady's done it. Michael Jordan's done it. Kobe Bryant's done it. You come up with something to keep you motivated to be the greatest of all time. I don't know what these guys are made out of. We hope every single one of the guys that wears a Charger uniform kind of has that attitude, the chip on your shoulder. Everybody goes in with some kind of driving force. QJ's hopefully driving in going, those three jerks on the Bull Crew podcast say I stink every single, Tuesday and Thursday. I'm going to prove those guys wrong, and I'm going to step up. Khalil Mack, hopefully going, everyone says I'm too old and I don't have anything left. I had a down year compared to the year before and prove something. You hope there's something that goes through their minds to motivate them to be great. It's one of the things that Jim Harbaugh is able to do into his 60s as a coach. He's insane. Pete Carroll's insane. Those guys are able to get up every single day and find something to motivate them to give their best effort.
If you don't get up every day and have something that motivates you, whether it's three jerks on a podcast or something that somebody said about you in the 8th grade, anything to make you feel motivated, then you're in the wrong profession, because you should always have a chip on your shoulder and prove to even yourself that you're worthy of being where you are. Before we move to these rankings, which I'll run through right here in a second, A1 James says, what would be a successful season for Omarion Hampton? Would you prefer that he has 1,000 yards or 10 touchdowns, Mario?
So touchdowns can be skewed, right? Because you can just get like the 1 yard handoff type of crap. I want 1K yards. I think that's a pretty reasonable goal for Omarion Hampton in his rookie season. We're in a run-first offense with Greg Roman. It has been such a message this whole Harbaugh era. Imagine Justin Herbert with the run game. Imagine how much I'd open up the field for him. Well, now we have everything we need for that run game to be successful. We got the running back. We got the O-line, kind of, but I'm going to count it. We have the offensive coordinator that's supposed to be one of the best at creating run schemes and run options for these guys. Hampton, 1,000 yards, definitely. There, I think it's live, betting total. I can't remember on top of my head, but was it close to 1,000? I would hammer it right away. I think Hampton's going to have a huge, huge year, and it's going to be a break on the scene type of thing. 1K yards, easy said and done.
I tell you what I want. I want the 1,000 yards, but I also want at least 50 receptions, 5-0.
Wow.
Ooh, I like that.
I want the 50 receptions. If he shows me he can do that, man, he is light years ahead of where I think a lot of people thought he would be, but it also puts him in a category of the elite running backs in the NFL.
50 receptions.
Okay, I'm gonna put him in. I'm gonna bring up a couple guys. Kamara. I don't have his numbers in front of me. Is Kamara a guy that you find in that boat? A guy that can receive it and obviously run is Christian McCaffrey when he's not injured and not ruining my NFL fantasy draft. Is he one of those guys?
That's a great question. So I love that you brought up Alvin Kamara and Christian McCaffrey, because those are both dual threat running backs. I always said on this show, Austin Eckler, I think, is awesome out of the backfield catching the football. I never saw him as an elite running back in the sense of running the football. I think Omarion Hampton is that. I love your call on 50 receptions. I don't know if he's going to get enough PT to get 50 receptions. If he was the lone running back, I think he could definitely do that. For years to come, I would expect him to have a lot of catches. I'm with Mario, 1,000 yards. I've seen guys score 10 touchdowns and have unimpressive seasons. Do you remember when Todd Gurley was on his last leg with the Rams and they would just give him the ball on the goal line? They would do that with Ezekiel Elliott. Even LT at times with the Chargers, I thought, man, they're just going to feed this guy on the goal line to get him some extra touchdowns. If Omarion Hampton has 1,000 yards this year, I think the Chargers have a very successful season, Mario.
All right, go ahead, Mario. Finish what you're going to say.
No, I was late looking. I thought there was I want to say on the playoff run that I think it was the Patriots had. Didn't LeGarrette Blount have a touchdown in every game when he was averaging 40 yards?
I think he led the league in touchdowns. He led the league in touchdowns that 1 year.
And he played in a bunch of Super Bowls. Remember, he's just jumping team to team.
I forgot about that.
Remember that he went to the Eagles and then beat the Patriots after he just won with the Patriots.
Oh,
Didn't former Charger Mike Tolbert, wasn't he that guy at one point? He was the goal line guy that had 12 touchdowns 1 year. He just gave it to him on the goal line. Ezekiel Elliott at points. Gave it to him on the goal line.
David Montgomery was that at one point. I mean, he's
Yes.
really good, but yeah.
You know what's crazy? LeGarrette Blount's going to be remembered not for, everything you just said about his NFL career. It's knocking that dude out against Boise State right on like Thursday Night Football.
It was awesome. I remember that like yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, to
Great.
that point, let's be honest. Everybody in this room right now, everyone in the chat, if you ran into LeGarrette Blount right now in a store, you'd take a step back going, that's the guy that knocked somebody out. Like, better watch how I behave right now. Like, you never know. Could be the lights out. All right, here, I'm going to throw this out to you we talked about Hampton. 1,000 rushing yards, 50 receptions is what I'd want. At the same time, with Najee Harris, I want 1,000 rushing yards and at least 40 receptions. Go ahead. Laugh all you want. But here's the deal. If you can pull this move, Greg Roman, they don't know what you're running. At any time, everybody's dangerous. You got to do it. It's so ridiculous when JK's out, Gus is in. Well, you kind of have an idea what direction we're going. We flipping the coin on a run pass. What are we doing here? But if everything is you don't know what pitch is coming, and in baseball terms, you got a better chance of having success. You can't just go up by personnel that's out there to give an idea of what's going to happen.
Let me tell you something. If Najee Harris and Omar and Hampton combine for 90 catches, that means guys aren't getting open. It's not going to be a good thing. They have that many catches out of the backfield. I don't look at that as a positive.
It's not a positive. It's just very possible.
Oh, it could happen. It could absolutely happen. But I wouldn't be happy if they had that many catches because guys aren't going to be getting open. All right, let's run through these rankings, Mario. Do you mind if I go through it?
Go ahead. Just on top of Harris and Hampton also get over 1,000 rushing yards, then I guess build Greg Roman a statue. He's also probably going to get a head coaching job, if we're being honest, too, if that happens.
Go ahead. Get him the hell out of here. I don't think it's our guy to lose to the goddamn Super Bowl. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Build him a statue out of sand. Build him a nice sand castle right in Santa Monica.
As Dave mentioned, training camp is on the horizon. So league insiders, which is a combination of executives and players and scouts, made the top 10 running back list heading into this season. I'm going to go from 10 down to 1. And spoiler alert, our guy, Omari Hampton's not on this list. First off, does that surprise you, Dave or Mario?
No.
No, because not even Genty's on this list. And NFL guys, they got that, what do you haven't proven anything until you step on the field, until you step in between the lines. So I wouldn't expect them to put him anywhere near.
And you're right. They didn't. He didn't even receive an honorable mention vote. There's about 8 guys that missed the top 10 that received honorable mention votes. He's not one of them, but I understand he hasn't played it down yet. So you can't praise him until he proves he can do it. So number 10 is Dave's guy, Alvin Kamara. Too high, too low, or just right, Dave?
Just right.
What do you think, Mario?
I think it's just right. I wouldn't be surprised if honestly he's a little farther down, but even though the Saints have been absolutely miserable, I'm sorry if you have to watch them. He's a very consistent, very good player. And stop me if you guys ever heard his age before, because I guarantee you probably some people listening are probably like, oh, he's like 32, 33, 34 years old. He's 29 years old. It is so funny how we do with these running back ages. We're like, oh, this guy's been in the league for so long. Like, oh, he's 26. He's hitting quarter life crisis or just got over it.
Dude, the craziest thing about him is the running backs room we had in college. And people think Tennessee. What was the running backs room at Alabama, Josh?
When he was there for his 1 year at Alabama, I believe it was him, Derrick Henry, Kenyon Drake, and there's Damian Harris, I believe, was there at the same time. I don't know if it was Damian or somebody else, but there's another NFL running back in there. I should know the answer to that question.
I think it might have been. It might have been like TJ Yeldon or Josh Jacobs. One of those guys. It's not Josh Jacobs, too young. Yeah,
it might have been TJ Yeldon, but they were all, it was TJ Yeldon. You're right. TJ Yeldon, Kenyon Drake, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry were on the same college team. And then he transferred to Tennessee.
Running back room. That's
I had a terrible take, I think. It was in middle school. Yeah, it had to be middle school. That Drake was going to be the best running back out of Alabama ever.
You're not the only person that thought that. People.
I was about to say.
Lane Kiffin thought that, right?
Yeah, because he was a dual threat running back. He's the only one of those guys that was a true dual threat. Because Alvin Kamara never played, so we never saw him on the field. But Kenyon Drake would catch the ball all the time. Anyways, number 9 is Joe Mixon. I think Joe Mixon is ranked just right. He had a pretty good season last year. He's also got Mario. I look at his age, 28 years old. I would have said for sure he's 30. He's been in the league for so long. Too high, too low, or just right, Mario?
Another one where just right. He did have a really good bounce back year with the Texans. Has a great mentality that I really, really like. I look at other guys though, and I know he just played one season, and he's an honorable mention in this. I would put actually Bucky Irving there.
Bucky Irving should be in the top 10. I cannot believe he's an honorable mention. That was going to be my gripe at the very end.
Me too. It's funny. All three of us thinking the same thing. He was going to be my fault. I know it was honorable mention, and Bucky Irving to me had such a good year. And you guys all know if you're playing fantasy football, people are going to grab him. You're crazy not to.
I think all of us would draft him over not James Cook, Joe Mixon, and Alvin Kamara.
Yes,
all of us would.
Yeah.
Number 8, I think this guy's ranked too low. He had a massive season last year. A lot of it is because he played with the NFL MVP and he had lanes open up for him. With that being said, you still have to make the most of your opportunities, Dave. It's James Cook at number 8.
Yeah, I mean, outstanding player. I mean, you're talking now as we go to, who's the best of the best. I'm interested to see what happens with him. He's one of these running backs that's not happy about his contract, right? Mm-hmm. And so when you go through those situations, it's not about winning the Super Bowl or, for the Bills getting to a Super Bowl for the first time in a long time. But now you have another guy who's complaining about money and what the future is. And it kind of stinks if you're in a situation like that where you bring in your off-field problems onto the field.
All right. He had 16 touchdowns last year. If you were to tell me you have 16 touchdowns, you'd be ranked number 8. I'd say you're crazy. Mario's boy, Indianapolis Colts running back Jonathan Taylor is ranked number 7. He had a better season than I thought. He had 1,400 yards and 11 touchdowns, despite being on a terrible team, Mario.
God, it's a really tough situation for him because you don't have a quarterback that can stretch the field. And the only way this offense is going to be successful is if they run the football, and that's through Jonathan Taylor. He obviously had that one, I can't remember what year exactly was, but he just kind of burst onto the scene. There's discussions if he's the best running back in the league. Takes a little bit of a step back, like you said, last year. Had a very great season, but the team was such a disaster, just kind of got overlooked. And again, it's small market. Like, who really cares about the Colts? They were awful. Watch. Like, if you watched them, they should pay you out of their pocket. I think this is just right. He's a very talented running back. I also don't think he's going to be a Colt for very much longer. Like, Dave, I never understand when sucky teams have amazing running backs, like the Saquon Barkley thing, if you will, where it made no sense for the Giants to keep him. Colts, if they get to this point in the season where they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league and you're in a really tough AFC, and I think the AFC South is going to be better than we think it is, I could see him getting on the trading block and the Colts possibly dealing him.
But honestly, I thought they should have dealt him before the draft this year. They were lucky that he did have basically a year where he's able to rebound, because he had that one amazing year that you were talking about where people like, this guy, without a doubt, is the number one player you take in fantasy football, to he's a future Hall of Famer, to this guy sucks, or this guy's injury prone. And what is he? And so now that he proved that, hey, he can put up numbers for you once again, why didn't you get rid of him when the iron was hot? Because you aren't going to make a Super Bowl run this year. That's the whole goal for time this whole thing out, to make the eventual Super Bowl run. The Colts aren't ready to make a Super Bowl run. They got a lot of problems in Indianapolis between quarterbacks, and unfortunately the owner passed away. There's a lot of issues. You could have traded a really good piece to maybe get something great in return. Now you better hope Jonathan Taylor has the same year to get value back, but you just added a year onto his age.
Couldn't agree more. You buy low and you sell high, and they should have sold high on Jonathan Taylor. At number 6, I have a big problem with this because I thought this player was the most valuable to his team outside of Saquon Barkley, and it's Josh Jacobs. I think having Josh Jacobs at number 6, when I would consider him dominant last year, is way too low, Dave.
Give me that one right back. I'm sorry, I was just doing some on my settings. Give me, what was the name? I'm sorry.
Josh Jacobs at number 6.
Yeah, huge Josh Jacobs fan, always has been, should still be a Raider. The Raiders messed that up big time. And at the same time, Packers love what they have in him. I'm a big Josh Jacobs fan. I think he can do almost anything that any other running back in the league can do.
I would have Jacobs over this guy we have at number 5, just going off recency bias, to be honest with you. Do you want us to go ahead and say who it is, and we just go into it?
my biggest problem with this list. I'm a big fan of his, but you can't tell me he's the 5th best running back when he's not available for a lot of his career, and it's Christian McCaffrey, Mario.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like you said, like even when he was drafted, that was an issue, was how can he stay on the field? And he does so much for your offense. And two, dude, his usage volume with the Niners is insane. Like that is Shanahan's, go to his what he has in his back pocket. It's CMC, it's CMC, it's CMC. Like he runs his ass into the ground. And like you said, he hasn't been available. Last year, he wasn't at all. He goes and does that surgery. How healthy can he be this year? Can they rely on him that much? Josh Jacobs is just more reliable. And let's be honest, I think at this point, you can maybe argue that he's just a better football player. And I agree with you, Dave. The Raiders letting him go. Ooh, I don't know if that was a great idea. But at the same time, they sucked. What does having a great running back suck unless you trade him?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. That's what organizations do. They completely mess this thing up over and over again, and that's what the Raiders are doing.
Yep. Number 4 is a guy that I think we've all been waiting for him to have a major breakout season. He had a very good season last year, with that being said, but I think we're all looking for him to maybe get an offensive player of the year in the NFL just because he's so dang talented. It's Bijan Robinson, who had 1,400 yards and 14 touchdowns a day. If he comes in at number 4.
Bijan's fine. I'd rather have the last 2 running backs before I take Bijan.
Ooh, yeah, I think he's pretty exceptional. I think he's really going to blow up in this Falcons system. He did last year. I expect that to happen more. And I'm going to call him a rookie because he didn't really play that much last year. But what is a rookie's best friend at quarterback, right? It's a running back that can actually catch the football and can, has great yak and can also run the living hell out of it. So I expect Bijan Robinson to even have a bigger year this year. Plus, look at the teams in that division, too. Boy, do they suck ass.
Terrible division. I agree with the final 3. So number 3, I think, is the most talented player in the NFL. And I said player, I think he's the most exceptional talent the NFL has to offer today. Whenever he touches the ball, it seems like it's a big play. His 6.4 yards per touch last season was the highest mark by any player in the past decade that had over 250 touches in a season. And that's Jahmyr Gibbs. He is ranked as the 3rd best running back in the NFL, Mario.
Gibbs was kind of in this situation that Hampton is, right? Like, remember that draft where Bijan Robinson was all the hype? He was, do you use this high of a pick on him running back? He's that great of a player. He's worth the risk. He's worth big money, yada, yada, yada. And Gibbs was this exceptional running back out of Bama that people were shocked that the Lions took him, Dave, that early. And the Lions said that's the best player available in the draft, and people agreed. And now, he's the 3rd best in the league, and I'd honestly probably put him 2nd. I don't know if I would put him 3rd. Curious to see if Hampton can do the same and, really explode onto this scene like Gibbs has this early on in his career.
I tell you what, Jahmyr Gibbs was on a team where he didn't have to share. Like, he was the main focal point running back, kind of like the way Jonathan Taylor is, with the Colts, just a focal running back. He'd be by far the best running back in this league. Montgomery's in his way. Montgomery and all the talent the Lions have on offense are in his way.
Couldn't agree more. This guy right here is the only running back in the NFL that I think if his career ended today, he would be a Hall of Famer. He's top 10 in almost every major rushing category. It's Derrick Henry. Some people wrote him off and said he wasn't going to be the same with the Ravens because he was getting up there in age. He's 31 years old. Mario, he had 1,900 yards and 16 touchdowns last year. He is ranked as the 2nd best running back in the NFL.
I mean, him and Lamar Jackson, it's insane. I said last year I didn't know how much he had left. I thought people were kind of overrating the move. Boy, that looked like the biggest dumbass of the world. I mean, I couldn't look dumber. He's exceptional. In a horrible offense, it's killer. Him and Lamar, man, it's undeniable. The only thing I really hope, Dave, is that the Ravens can just remember to run the football in the playoffs because for some reason they always forget that they can do that.
Yeah, I mean, you have a weapon that nobody can stop. Derrick Henry obviously is in Baltimore for that reason. He's waiting for that chance to win a Super Bowl. Yeah, you can't forget about Derrick Henry. He's a weapon that every team in the NFL wishes that they had. For the Ravens, you wonder if it's about basically soothing egos more than trying to figure out the best way to win that game.
Number one running back in the NFL is no surprise to anyone here. He's the offensive player of the year last season. I was kind of down on him heading into his move to the Eagles, but he proved me wrong. Not that he cares about me at all. He doesn't even know that I exist. 2,000 yards rushing, 125 yards per game. He absolutely took over. Seemed like every game last year. It was Saquon Barkley, Dave.
Yeah, Barkley had an amazing year. I mean, what can you do? He left the Giants. He pulled the biggest FU card on everybody. A lot of people said this guy's injury prone. This guy's fallen short of what they thought he should be as an NFL player. Everyone at Penn State loved him immediately, and yet he was never exactly the player that he was with the Eagles for the Giants. He leaves, he goes to a rival city, and he goes and wins a Super Bowl. Looks absolutely ridiculous. It's one of those things that when you look about his NFL life, this is where he was taken to another category when they talk about, is he a Hall of Famer?
I mean, it's just crazy, his year. I don't even know what to say. CBS Sports put out rankings of like the top players in the NFL. It was top 100. And last year, they didn't even have him on a list, which I thought was kind of crazy to kind of begin with. Like, really? You didn't include him? And then this past year, he was top 3. I think he was like 1 or 2, actually. That jump, I mean, it's massive. He's very clearly the best running back in the league right now. If you don't watch, you'll forever watch him jumping over a player backwards. You'll forever watch it. And his calves, I mean, god damn, dude. I would like get surgery for those calves.
Dude, hold on. If you walked around with your exact body you have right now, but all of a sudden you had Barkley's calves, you look so weird.
So weird, dude. But I have the skinniest calves of all time, dude.
Yeah, but dude, you look. You would be so awkward to have his calves on your body. You'd look like Popeye with his forearms. Like people would think you have tumors.
Bro, my calves make John Jones's look massive. Like mine are small. And I work them out. I do my best.
Oh boy.
Dude, me too, man. I'm on the same boat as you.
It sucks. It sucks.
It's terrible, man. Definitely kills my energy. All right, so that's the list of top 10 running backs. I love it rankings for anything. Whether it's running backs or anything stupid that's on X, I'll look at any list. So the next topic we have here is another list, rankings of the best combination of wide receiver, tight end, and running backs in the NFL for every team, 1 through 32. If I was to ask you that question, Dave, where would you rank the Chargers amongst their combination of, best running back, best tight end, and best receiver?
I hate to say it, but I go quarterback, we're right there. We're killing it. Tight end, we're improving. Wide receiver,
quarterback's not in there. So it's just running back, tight end, receiver.
We're screwed. Then we're in a lot of trouble. I'm gonna go. Would be towards the bottom. Would be towards the bottom.
Where would you put the Chargers, Mario?
22.
Really? Just taking a guess there. Just 22. You had no idea what the list was.
I didn't know exactly if I knew we were in the 20s.
Okay, it's 22. And I would say that's too high, honestly, because right now we have the worst probably starting tight end in the NFL in Disley. Receiver, I think, is awesome in Ladd McConkey, but he's still not maybe a top 10 receiver yet. And then Najee Harris, I think people are down on him, even though he's a 1,000-yard rusher every season. The Chargers are ranked as number 22. So when you think of that, like I said, I think it's a little higher than I would have gave them. The teams that are ranked right ahead of the Chargers, Dave, are the Steelers at number 21, the Raiders at number 20, and the Seattle Seahawks at number 19. Does that sound about right to you?
Sounds right to me. I'd love to say it's not. Sounds right.
What do you got, Mario? You agree with that?
I actually, first off, this list too, that they have the Buffalo Bills at 28, which I actually shockingly I agree with. There, some people they take Allen and they throw him so far ahead, and you have Cook, that's obviously exceptional, but after that, there's a massive drop off. Their tight ends group's pretty good, but the receiving core really weighs them down. So the 28, it's bold, but I kind of agree with it. And he had, Palmer, which good luck with that. The team that's ahead of the Chargers that I don't agree with at all is the Seattle Seahawks, because I think it's just a lot of names that we know. It's Cooper Kupp, it's MVS, it's Kenneth Walker, it's JSN, and it's like JSN's a very good receiver. Let's see what he's as the number one. Cooper Kupp, he plays every 6 games. Good luck with that. I also like how, besides one insane offensive player year type of season, how good has he really been? And how good can he be now at his age? Kenneth Walker had the 4th worst success rate in 2024. This past 2 seasons, he has not ran over 1,000 yards. 905, he came close to 2 seasons ago. He also missed a good amount of time in 2024. MVS got cut from 2 teams. Where's the hype on this? Why are they ahead of the Chargers? Dave, I don't see a position group that they have that's exceptionally, insanely better than the Chargers. I really don't.
I don't know. I right now, I think the Chargers are where they belong. I'd love to tell you something different, but right now, I think the Chargers. I think a lot of guys will prove themselves this year. Don't think I'm being overly optimistic by saying that. I think the Chargers have guys that other casual NFL fans of other teams aren't aware of what the Chargers have and what they picked up. This list will look different in a year. I think it's there, but I understand why they are where they are.
The team that's ranked last in the NFL of combination of running backs, tight ends, and wide receivers is the Tennessee Titans. And the team that is ranked first is the Philadelphia Eagles. Mario, do you agree with that?
Yeah, Eagles' weaponry is insane. It's what makes that team go. I mean, from A.J. Brown to Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, it's really, really hard to say there's anywhere or any team that has it better than them. And, their second, Detroit kind of comes near it, but no, it's Eagles have everything you could want and more.
When Harbaugh says who has it better than us, and if some guy in the room goes Eagles, what happens to that guy?
Yeah.
Also notable, the Chargers are ranked 22, like I mentioned. The Denver Broncos are ranked 23rd, and the Raiders are ranked 20th. Not good at math, but I can almost guarantee you that is the worst in the NFL because you have 3 teams in the 20s. But I'm not surprised. I think the Chargers definitely have a better group than the Broncos, and everybody's hyped on Ashton Genty. And then when you have the best tight end in the NFL and Brock Bowers, I don't even think it matters, Mario, that you don't have a top wide receiver with the Raiders.
It doesn't. Bowers is held to such a insanely high standard. It's out of this world. Like, I really do believe we're going to see this upcoming season, whether it's true or not true. I guarantee you, Dave, we see he's already better than Gronk. He's already better than Kelsey. Like, we're going to see that this year.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right.
All right. Real quick before we get to the chat and Dave's rant, tonight, quarterback season 2 comes out. That is going to be with Kirk Cousins, Joe Burrow, and who is the other quarterback that I'm forgetting right now? Who's the other guy that's in there? Jared Goff. Will you be watching, Mario?
Like, I'm trying to think if I have anything to watch tonight. Like, maybe I probably will, but for some reason, I don't know why, guys, but the shows like this about Netflix with the sports I watch, I have no interest in watching. Because it's like I devour it so much. I'm like, yeah, I want to watch Formula 1 because I don't watch every race, or I don't really care that much. I check in every couple months or so. So I don't know.
I think they aired too late, Dave. I would have liked if they aired it when we had nothing to talk about after the season during basketball. I feel like when you air the 2024 season right before the 2025 season, I'm like, I moved on. Like, I don't want to remember week 2 of the 2024 season. I think they waited too long to put this out.
Yeah, I think you're right. To talk about 3 boring guys. Extremely talented, obviously, NFL players, but personality-wise, no joke, man. If you go to a party and it has nothing to do with football, they're just guys. From what you know of these 3 guys' personalities, not the fact that they play for an NFL team. Are you hanging out with any of those guys? Aren't you literally avoiding all 3 of them? If Kirk Cousins is in the corner with his ginger ale, am I going to walk over and talk to him? No, I'm not. I'm like, dude, you better keep me away from Kirk Cousins. I swear to God. If Kirk Cousins talks to me for another 2 minutes, it's on you. You're the one that's getting hit for it. Jared Goff, I'm like, dude, I'm not hanging out with Jared Goff. That guy's a goof. I'm not hanging out with him. Jared Goof, I'm not hanging out with him. He's here. I'm not doing that. Joe Burrow, the guy that looks like he's 12 years old. No, not hanging out with him either. Damn it. So, no, all 3 of those guys look boring as hell if they weren't NFL quarterbacks. And Kirk Cousins, we all know the big story about I would have never gone to the Falcons if I knew they're going to draft Michael Penix number 8 overall. You big bitch. Dude, you came off as such a weakling last year when all of a sudden you're at the little campfire with your $100 million in your back pocket. My favorite sweatshirt. piece of hot amber on it. Now I got a hole in it. Oh, that bums me out. Go get another one. So what? Nobody feels bad for you. You have $100 million. You made a bad business decision. You made a really good decision in Washington when you didn't sign the contract they told you to sign. And you said, I'm bet on myself. And it paid off for you. You go to Minnesota, you underachieved. You did great for fantasy football people because you stink on prime time. But then you go to Atlanta and they go, man, it's a good thing we drafted Michael Penix because this Kirk Cousins guy stinks. You aren't hanging out with any of those guys, right? Are you hanging out with any of those guys? I'm curious to know what you guys think. Do they look like fun to you?
Can I offer retaliation a little bit or something to your point though? Like he did the last season. Goff, how many times has he been on Hard Knocks now? Like 2 or 3 times. Burrow, we've like seen it all with Burrow. Maybe pick QBs that we don't know a lot about yet. You know what I mean? Like we know like these guys are constantly in shows doing stuff. Like we know a lot about them. Like let's do like Jaden Daniels would have been a good one. They'll probably do him next year. Like Hurts would have been a great one. We don't really get that much of Hurts.
Jalen's
you know?
not that guy. Yeah. Well, here you go. I'll give you an example. We saw Goff, as you said, on Hard Knocks a couple times now, right?
Yeah.
He was boring as hell when he was the Rams quarterback. You know, he was boring. Yeah. Joe Burrow might be interesting this year if he followed through with what he said, but now he goes, I didn't follow through because my house got broken into it, my mind in other places. He almost bought the goddamn Batmobile. Remember he was trying to build the Batmobile?
Yeah.
Now, if you had him on the show when he's driving around Ohio in a goddamn Batmobile, that is awesome. But no, I don't want to see Joe Burrow now. He's out. I don't want to see him.
Yeah, I do like the clip that's going around today of him cussing out Zach Taylor. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
I've not seen that one yet.
I like it.
It's good stuff. Yeah, Zach. They beat the Titans by like 11 points, like 38-27. The offense had a great day, and he's super pissed because they kept jumping off sides. So Zach Taylor tries to console him on the sideline. He's like, "Hey Joe, it's okay." He's like, "It's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay." And like Zach Taylor takes it like a big bitch. And I liked it a lot. It was great. We're going to move over to comments here. Our boy AK is going to kick us off. 499. I'm going to call him 499 AK from now on. Okay. 499 says, Josh, I'm going to throw you under the train. Laugh out loud. Our schedule is not that difficult, buddy. Take out the Eagles and Chiefs and maybe the Vikings only. My question to you, AK, is why are you so high on the Vikings? It's because you're a Michigan fan and you like JJ McCarthy. Just let us know now. I don't think this Charger schedule is that hard, Mario, but I wouldn't throw the Vikings in there as a team that I'm super worried about.
Yeah, I'm not. They don't really haunt me. I'll take a QB coming off an injury in his rookie season. I know he has, Jesus Christ and God he gets a throw to, but I don't really. That like the rest of the teams we play, I'm not really that scared of. Like that's not a team I'm like, oh, watch out,
What are you laughing at?
Yeah, I'm laughing. We have JT in the background. No one can see JT right now, but he works in the background and he'll cut up stuff for us that you see on social media. In my head, the project, if JT was actually getting paid for this, would be I want you to pull every clip of every show where Mario out of nowhere drops a Jesus Christ, Heavenly Mother, whatever reference to some kind of his Catholic upbringing.
Christian upbringing, no Catholic.
Sorry,
you,
Mom Aaron.
Show some respect.
Literally, I think we have an hour filled of Mario going on a rant and then all of a sudden throwing a Jesus Christ in there every time.
Praise be.
One show.
AK 999. There we go. He says, I'm going to use my favorite NFL word, fraud. Steelers, Texans, and Broncos. Yes, Josh, I said it. Commanders. These teams will fall flat on their face. The Chargers will steam them, smoke them, watch and see. What do you think about that, Dave?
I hope he's absolutely right. I hope the Chargers win every single game. That's always what I say. Sometimes I think AK wants a fight, but I'm not willing to fight when I agree with everything you said. And I am glad the word you picked was fraud. Made me nervous which way we're going as we're reading that sentence.
Mario, do you think those teams are frauds?
I'm a believer in Pittsburgh. I think the Commanders are going to fall flat on their face. I think they're going to come back down from heaven. Yeah,
I'm one of those guys still believes in the Commanders.
Yeah, I think they're going to come back down. But Aaron Rodgers on his last year with Mike Tomlin, that's a guaranteed playoff team, and I would rather not face him.
Wow, surprises me. Okay,
trust me, he's hurt me before. We've been down this road. I'm not going to go down that one again.
Next one comes from Leah Smith, 499. She says, "What are your thoughts on Trey Harris not signing a contract yet? Do you think he will sign before training camp or Slater signs, Mario?"
Yeah, I think he's gonna sign before training camp starts. I'm not too worried about this at all. This is becoming a recurring thing though, Dave, of these rookies, and some guys have a lot bigger argument. I'm blanking on the defensive end in Cincinnati, where his contract things.
Stewart.
Yeah,
Shamar
where
Stewart.
they're taking away guarantees that other rookies had, which is crazy. But I'm not too worried about that contract situation.
Yeah, it's surprising. I mean, we weren't supposed to have contract holdouts or anything at this stage because everything's supposed to be slotted and you move along. I mean, this was very normal, back in the 80s and 90s where guys didn't come into camp. And then players, the attitude was you don't mess with someone's money. So you just sit there and take it, even though you really want that guy in camp, especially when you know he's going to be part of your offense. It's frustrating when the players that we're relying on, I mean, us as fans, we're like, dude, this is a guy that can maybe fix a problem that we know we've had for a number of years. And then, if guys aren't in camp, it makes them nervous. I'm not worried about Rashawn Slater. Rashawn Slater is not worried about Rashawn Slater. So nobody worry about it. I mean, we all know kind of the game that's being played here that there's unfortunately, there's a divorce happening. All right. Money earned right while married gets split up equally in the state of California. Okay. So, hey, let's make sure this divorce is final. And guess who just gave him a huge payday? It happens all the time in business. Happens all the time. Don't worry about Rashawn Slater, everybody.
I'm not worried about Rashawn Slater either. I am concerned about Trey Harris maybe missing practices because we know he needs them. Every rookie does, especially a guy we're going to rely on as maybe wide receiver number 2. Let's get that handled. B. Hannon, $2. Dave, have you ever had bed bugs or know someone that has?
He didn't write it directly to me, did he? He just said,
no,
but he said, Dave.
I thought you'd have something funny. Yeah,
I look like a dirtbag. I'm like, what? That shower?
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah,
directing it to you first. Do you know it?
You weren't ready?
So here's
someone
the deal.
Did show prep.
I have had an experience with bed bugs. I was traveling in Yuma, Arizona. I was traveling and had to stay and it was a decent hotel. I've stayed in a million Marriotts, but for some reason, man, all of a sudden, next day my legs were all eaten up. And then everyone I traveled with, because I took a travel baseball team there, every kid, every coach, same thing. We all just got bit to hell, dude. It was nuts. I still drive by that hotel when I drive to Phoenix. I'm like, damn it. That was it. It got me good. But yeah, bed bugs, no joke. If you have them, you better contact a pro and get rid of them.
And burn your house down. Have you ever had it, Mario?
In college, we thought we had them in one of the beds. And I remember there was like 18 of us like standing around, and the president goes, well, it's a 50-50 shot, and it'd be really big pain in the ass if we did. So we'll just play it by ear. We said, sounds good. And we ended up not having them. Or maybe we did. Who knows? But I didn't have any bites, and no one else did.
You would know.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, the one in here, Alpha Man 27, do Italians have anger issues like in the movies? I'm not Italian, so you got to ask the two guys in front of me.
I'm very calm.
Yeah, Josh doesn't
believe it or not. Mario, I think, might, right?
I'm pretty. It takes me a while to get there, but once I'm there, I'm off the rails for a little bit. But
yeah,
my mom, I mean, she's full blown Italian, and she's got that. She got a tick in her.
She's what?
Yeah,
like she's
it's his mom.
I didn't know.
Yeah, no, she's got she's got a little. She doesn't have. I want to say anger issues, but like, if she's there, you're gonna know it. There's a great moment in vacation where she had a little too many, or was starting to feel it when she would just say like these people were throwing a football and they were just throwing it a little weird, and I just hear my mom go, "They're just throwing it like a bunch of bitches." And I go,
that's fine.
And it was so loud. I looked around. I go, "Oh, now we're there, Lisa. Now we're there. Here we go."
Yeah, it's Mike Juice says Italian Americans just have loud voices. That could be true too.
Yeah, and they talk with their hands, so it seems even louder.
A lot. So I tell you, Mark, one day when you get married, hopefully you're inviting Josh into that wedding. I want to have a drink with your mom and dad. I got to hear some stories. I want to know if your mom's everything you say all these stories about her being basically, hey, nothing to hide. Let's go.
She'll give them to you. But she will think too, like, I love her to death, but her and my sister too would think, we're just such a great time. Like, I don't know why people don't like why shouldn't we be on your show? Like they get into that thinking, and I'm like, no. Like, we're entertaining. Like people like us. I'm like, do they? I don't know.
Next one comes from Cody Worth, 499 says, a lot is riding on Trey Harris. Teams will just double lad and load the box for Hampton. Trey has to tee off on the ones on the one-on-ones he's going to be getting. Couldn't agree more. I feel like Trey Harris could be like the key to unlocking the offense this year, Dave.
Yeah, I know. I agree with that. I mean, he's to a whole nother level of what this team can be. You guys are absolutely right. Cody, I'm with you on that. It's look, it's frustrating that, of course, we don't get a chance to see him right away. But, man, I think overall he's going to be one of those guys. I really hope, I mean, more than anything, I think on this roster that he is really a guy that's the answer to our prayers.
Just got a good idea. Most important Chargers for next show. Top 5. You can't include Justin Herbert.
Okay.
Write it down.
Write it down.
Put a pin
in it. AK, you better get freaking excited.
Stephanie Chamberlain, 499 says, great show as always. Thank you. Do you think Keenan will get picked up by us or anyone, Mario?
Yes, because I think when training camp comes around, you always kind of see like some team maybe has a weird injury or someone's not going to be ready right away.
Someone's going to blow their Achilles.
Yeah, someone always does. Somehow someone like tears their ACL. Like it just happens. And so I think Keenan will get picked up.
Yeah. I don't think it's by
100%.
us. I don't think it's by us. Sorry, Josh.
No, I agree with you. I think that ship has sailed. I'd rather have him than Mike Williams, to be honest. But when I watched Keenan at the end of the year with the Bears, it's like there's a little bit left in the tank after he lost all that fat from weeks 1 through 7. I mean, what the hell are you doing, Keenan? He looked pretty good. All right, Dave Rant, what do we got?
I got 3 of them today. One is this microphone has not worked the entire show. It almost cuts right. It's driving me crazy. And look, here's the deal for anyone who gives a crap. See the lights? It means it's on. It has been plugged in 4 different slots, and it tells me it's there. But as soon as I click on it, it goes right back to my Mac mic. I don't know what to do. So here's the deal. It's Amazon Prime days. I'm like, do I run and buy another mic before the next show? They're about $250, but it's going to be cheaper today. Josh and I drove by the Shure factory, by the way, Mario, when we were driving from Wisconsin to Chicago. Did you know it's that close to you?
No, but, praise be. God always works in mysterious ways.
Yeah. Why don't you drive up the road and get me one? And then, but it has been frustrating as hell that all the lights and everything shows that this thing should be working, and it has not worked the entire show. So it's extremely frustrating. Other one, had to take the dog to the vet today. Dog had a little tumor on the bottom of his ear. She had it removed. She had the stitches taken out today. And when you go into the vet, my vet at least, they weigh the dog every goddamn time. And the dog does not like getting on the scale. And then my wife makes the same joke every time. Women, they don't like to be weighed. And I'm like, they never laugh at the joke, but she drops the line every time. That's not what irritates me. But getting her on that goddamn scale, and she's trying to push off, and is it 95 or 96? 95, 96, 95. I finally just let go of the dog, okay? And the dog jumps off the scale. We're going to have to do it again. I didn't get the number. And I'm like, just pick a number, goddamn. I'm not ordering medicine. It doesn't matter. It's just it's either 95 or 96. You pick.
What is this, NFL Combine? Who gives this?
Yeah, I mean, it's
yeah.
Okay. So I walk in the room waiting for the doctor. And I'm pissed, man. I'll be honest with you. The whole process is not fun. My dog gets car sick. The whole deal. Getting the dog in the car is not fun. Only dog doesn't like being in the car. And then, man, as soon as that door shuts, I pull one of these, right, right at her. F you. And then guess what? After that door shut and I flipped her off, I look up and there's a camera right there recording me the entire time. Oh. Like they saw it. The girls in the desk saw me give her the finger. I'm like, damn it. I need her to be nice to the dog. I told her F you, she hasn't taken the stitches out yet. Damn it. Yeah, so that wasn't good. And then the other one is this. I'm going to give everyone a heads up unless everybody's aware. Yahoo sucks. Okay, Yahoo sucks unless you're playing fantasy football. It is only good for fantasy football. They just advertise Yahoo. You're home for fantasy football and nothing else. Everything else is clickbait. Everything is such a disaster to get to the headline you want to get to. It is frustrating, and everything is turned into this exact format now. Sports Illustrated, anything. If you're an NFL fan like all of us are, and you're going NFL news, Charger news, you're looking for anything, you can't ever get to a story that you think is there because it doesn't exist. It's a pain in the ass. And I blame Yahoo for really starting this trend that's making billions of dollars to give you absolutely nothing. Damn.
Wait. So you search things on Yahoo?
No, I'll search through certain other aspects, and then it will say Yahoo has a story. Justin Herbert, breaking news.
Oh, it's
and
never
I'm like,
anything ever.
I'm like, oh, I got to see what happened here. And then, dude, I found one story today that Najee Harris got one of his eyeballs blown out on 4th of July. No joke. And then, sure enough, going, this has to be a scam. I'm like, Najee Harris. And then people start writing underneath, hey, you're still going to have better hands than QJ. QJ's looks like he's catch with no eyes. And then there's a million jokes about it. And I'm like, good Lord. It stinks. Like, social media could be really good if people basically just aren't goofballs. But I'm spend so much time taking all the BS accounts off my feed.
Yeah, it sucks. The biggest fumble of all time is when Yahoo could have bought Google in 2002 for $1 million and they turned it down. Really screwed that one up.
Yeah. Damn it.
Damn, where was I?
Yeah, Isaiah said he saw that Najee story too. I'm telling him, not BSing it. That Najee, the fake story. I want to make sure I say fake for anyone just flipped on. Najee, they said blew one of his eyeballs out on 4th of July. What the hell? Why our player? Like, why can't he pick another player? You know what I mean? Pick a guy on a team we don't like. Why our guy? Damn it.
What, if you play fireworks, like, come on, man. I saw this guy blow both his hands off on 4th of July. It just happened the other day. I was like, come on. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Speaking of fireworks, I got a couple vacation stories for you guys that I wrote down.
What? Hold on. He blew both his hands off? Was he holding 2 grenades? What the hell?
He was holding it like this, I think. It went,
yeah. She's like, oh, when this is going to go off?
Yeah. As soon as, oh my God, dude. If I was friends with that guy, man, as soon as he got out of the hospital, I just flip on a dirty movie and walk out of the house, get in my car, and I'd leave and just go, now what are you going to do?
God, that's so mean.
Now what are you going to do? Stupid.
Power of the mind. All right. I got a vacation story for you guys. And it just reminded me of this because of the fireworks. I wrote down 3 stories. This all attributes to one person in my family. And he did say I can tell all of these. But he was drunk at the time, but I'm going to count it as a W. My brother Joey just had a baby. Adorable. She's amazing. She's the cutest baby. You just stare at her. She smiles. Easiest kid of all time. But it's her first time experiencing fireworks. So, like, a kid, you're jumpy, right? And she's not even 1 yet. She's like 6 months old. And they go and get ice cream. The ice cream spot's like right next to the condo. And they're walking to it. And her baby's name's Abby. And Abby's like clinging on to my sister-in-law. And like she has her ice cream and she's like, can tell like the baby's scared and everything. And she like turns to my brother. He's like, hey, Joey. And Joey just has like 2 cones in his hand. Just these flavors are nuts, Mag. He's like, yes, not picking up on the situation that his only daughter is just freaking out. And she goes, really? You had to get 2? He's like, I didn't know what flavor to get. Like, I'm on vacation. And so he's just licking. He walks into the condo. I go, are you seriously double fisting ice cream? Like, are you serious right now? You're insane. And everyone's kind of giving him crap. And he then sits down next to his sister-in-law. And she like touches his shoulder. He's like, ow. He's like, I'm sore from working out. He's like, I'm really sore. And I go, Joey, I was there with you. You never went into the gym. You stopped outside the basketball court, and then we played one-on-one for like 20 minutes. You did not work out. And he just looks at his wife, goes, I won though, not babe. I still got the shot. And I was like,
overall, good time though. Always a good time.
It was a phenomenal time. most like melting moment is I was like talking to my mom about like moving to Chicago, leaving the job and everything. And my sweet nephew just goes, "It's okay. I always believe in you." And I was like, that made my heart
Very
melt.
nice.
But then I got here and like, guys, this happened to me all yesterday. Dude, I don't know what it is. I counted 6 just made eye contact with the guy and just stare downs, just all like 6 of them. And I don't know what's going on. And I was like looking in the mirror. I'm like, dude, maybe it's like I got a hittable face now. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I've just gotten 6 just intense stare downs. Like I'm staring at Alex Pereira. And we're about to
Wait,
fight
you're
in UFC
starting it or they're
315.
starting it?
They're starting it. But in my head, I'm like, dude, I can't lose this one. I lock eyes. And I go all the way to the head turns. And
Are
it's
you reading
happened to
this
me like
right?
6
I
times.
mean, no joke. Are you reading this whole thing right? Like, are they looking at you to get your number? Like,
I
maybe
didn't think
they're
of that.
looking to fight. Maybe they're looking to get your number.
Maybe it's on me. I could be the problem now. that could be me.
Yeah, if these
What's
were
happened
six,
to me a lot.
yeah, if these were 6 girls, yeah, you'd be going, that girl's interested in me. Not she wants to fight me or mad dogging you. She's interested in you. Maybe these, and I'm not making a joke. Maybe these 6 guys are interested in you, and you're looking at them like, hey, we'll go out and fight in the parking lot, and they aren't thinking that at all.
Yeah, I don't know. One of them was definitely. He was like wide eyed, and he's like walking into the gym. It was like, easy on the C4, brother. One less scoop can help you out. You're gonna give yourself a heart attack. Jesus Christ, me.
All right, so you're in the new place in Chicago. What's going on the wall behind you?
Oh, dude. So we have a little bit of a situation. Do you guys know like that the Jordan photo I had of him dunking? That frame snapped in half. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. My Jordan, my Israel Adesanya, and my Charger one all broke too. So I don't know what the hell is. So I'm kind of to be determined on what I'm gonna put back here. But I really want to put I have another one, Connor one when he won 2 belts. He's like flipping off the crowd, and I was like, I really like that one's really cool. So I don't know, still be determined. Okay.
Good deal, man. Well, I'm glad you're back. Obviously, we lost Josh. I didn't see in the private chat. Said I got to lock the show up. So sorry, it hasn't made Josh leave the show. Well, anyway, we are happy to have you back. Appreciate everyone joining us again. Tuesday, Thursday, of course, 1 o'clock Pacific time. Those are the days we try and make it back. Please like and subscribe to the show. Hopefully I get a microphone that actually works next show. But look, we're close to things actually happening. So if you hung with us through the summer and the dog days of football, the show will continue to obviously go and get better. We love the people in the chat, are fantastic. Thanks for being part of it. If you did not watch the show live and you watch on YouTube, we take those like and subscribes there. Definitely appreciate it. And Josh and I will answer you on your comments. But otherwise, JT in the back, thank you very much. For Mario Heron, Josh Palais, I'm Dave Palais. We'll see you Thursday, 1 o'clock Pacific time.